Why didn't I think of that? Like, I felt so silly. And so this is what I'm talking about in terms of why your mindset is so important. Literally, what you think informs what you focus on and what you do. I just wanted to encourage you today. I know, we're all growing our businesses and looking to do all of the things, but I just wanted to encourage you today to talk about why mindset is actually the most important part of business. So I know many of us are looking for the latest strategy, the coolest marketing tactics. That is often our focus because we think that that is the thing that's keeping us from getting to the success that we seek. But I'm here to tell you, while those things are important, your mindset is actually a lot more important than you get it credit for. If you feel like mindset is like fluffy stuff and it has nothing to do with what you're doing, and you're like, I just need a hardcore business coach that's gonna tell me, how to do all the steps. I'm here to tell you that if your mindset is not correct, it really doesn't matter what that coach tells you. Your mindset is not gonna put you in a position to receive it the way you think it is, right? Your mindset determines what you see, and what you see determines what you do. This is why you really want to work with someone, a mindset coach, or just somebody who can speak to that mindset, who can show you different opportunities and different things that are possible. A lot of us are like, oh, I need a coach to teach me funnels. I need a coach to teach me Facebook ads. I need somebody who's going to teach me to do all these things. But have you taken a step back and said, is my mindset even correct in terms of the business model that I'm going after? Is the thing that I see ultimately the thing that I should be doing? I'm in like a very big ticket mastermind. I've invested a lot of money in the last 12 months for the growth of my business. It's just been really fantastic. And it was funny because before I jumped in this mastermind, I was like, okay, I have a few courses and different products that are selling really well. I think it's time for me to start putting some ads behind it, because this whole year, I hadn't been running ads, hadn't been dabbling in that at all. Because I was like, well, it'd be really great if I could just double my sales. That was my mindset. I'm just gonna double my sales. Let me join some courses that are gonna teach me, how to do ads. Spent money, joined 2 courses to learn these things. Very good content, learned a lot of stuff, was in there, working my own ads and all that. And then I was like, wow, I'm doing a great job by myself. I wonder if I could hire a VA, or maybe I could teach an assistant, or I could get an intern or something. They'd be able to double my sales, and that would be great. And so fast forward, I get into this mastermind, I got into a conversation with someone and was talking about oh yeah, my goal this year is really just to double my sales with all that. And they were like, why do you only want to double your sales? Why don't you 10x your sales? And I was like, why do I 10x my sales? That takes so much. That would require so much infrastructure. And they're like, well, what are you doing to double your sales? And I was like, well, I've been taking all these courses, to study ads, and, I'm thinking about hiring an assistant or somebody. And they were like, or you could hire a professional agency who knows what they're doing out the box, and the money that you spent on the courses and hiring and all these different things, you can just put that money with an agency. It'll probably cost you the same amount of money, or maybe a little bit more. You could just let them take care of it, and they could focus on 10xing your sales. Here, I'll give you a referral. And I was like, what? I was like, why didn't I think of that? Why didn't I think of that? I felt so silly. And so this is what I'm talking about in terms of why your mindset is so important. Literally, what you think about informs what you focus on and what you do. And so that's the value of being in certain rooms, working with people who can speak to your mindset. They can show you things that you have no ability to see on your own because you have no reason to, right? Oftentimes what people don't realize is the thing that got you to the level that you're at right now is actually the thing that's gonna keep you from the next level, right? This is the thing that was keeping me from my next level, here right now in 2021. It was this idea of oh, I had gotten really good at, finding low cost help, and okay, I could train people, I can get an assistant, I can, work with an intern, whatever. My business has grown to a level where I realized that I started to need a specialist, like somebody that can specialize in these things. Once I got into a room and got with, coaches who think different than me, who have more than I have, who are at places that I aspire to be, it never would have crossed their mind to take a course to learn it themselves, just being honest. Like, they don't have time for that. Like, they're too busy, right? They're running a multi-7-figure business. Every day that it takes me to not get this result, every week, every month, that's money that I'm actually losing. Those are real dollars that could have been in my pocket that aren't in my pocket now. So they think totally different and they take totally different actions. And it took me being around people who had a different mindset in order for me to realize that and to do the same. Having the right mindset, working on your mindset, working with a mindset coach is necessary, or a coach that can speak to your mindset is so important, because for women, we really have to learn to master our emotions. And I say this because I was having a conversation with someone just today, and we were talking about all the examples of this that we know of, where we have seen uber talented women entrepreneurs literally set their businesses on fire because they had one bad client, who said something bad about them, or who left a bad review, or, one situation didn't go their way, or they made one investment that didn't pan out the way that they thought it was going to. And because the emotion around it was so strong, I've literally seen women delete whole websites, close whole businesses. I understand, like, it probably really sucked to get that bad review, or to host that launch and it didn't go your way. But if you're not able to master your emotions, it might lead you to do something drastic in your business that ultimately moves you further away from your goal instead of moving you closer to it. Mastering your emotions is not about not feeling the thing. I'm a big proponent of feeling the thing. Girl, feel it. Cry, go to Trader Joe's, go ahead and get you some of those, $10 flowers that they have, some $2 chuck, right? Some chocolate, get you some Epsom salt or bubble bath, or they have like lavender scrub. I'm just on a Trader Joe's kick, right? Come home, run you a bubble bath and cry, in your $2 chuck wine, about the situation that happened. Absolutely feel the feelings, but the ability to master the feelings is to take those feelings and to channel it ultimately into something that serves you and that moves you forward. So I say this specifically for my women entrepreneurs because as women, we have an advantage, and that, studies have shown women do have a higher degree of emotional intelligence, right? So we talk about IQ, there's EQ, right? Like, that's the advantage that we have. But the disadvantage that we have is that we're often not able to compartmentalize our emotions the way men do, right? So you'll see men who, their marriage is like totally messed up. The wife is about to take him to the cleaners, right? For everything he has, his kids aren't talking to him, like at work, he's still able to kill it, even though like there's all these fires going on in the background. We're more apt to kind of let these things seep in because that's just how we are. Again, that could be an advantage if we learn to harness and we learn to channel our emotions, but it really speaks to having someone in your corner that can shift your mindset and really shift the way you think about things, right? One of the things that I personally, truly, have been slacking on are my email newsletters. I really love connecting with people on my email list. I've just been like beating myself up and kind of like kicking myself like, it's been months, right? Since I've sent out an email newsletter. Like, I really need to get on that. And I'm going to, and I have a plan, that I've been working on. I was talking in my mastermind saying, I feel so guilty about it. I feel awkward. Are people gonna be like, who is this? When they see my name in their email inbox, so they're gonna be like, dude, I haven't heard from you, like whatever, delete, unsubscribe, all of this. These were the stories and the thoughts that I was telling myself. And so in the mastermind though, everybody was like, or people know you just had a baby and they're really interested to see how you've been navigating life and, motherhood a second time with your second child, and they're gonna be delighted to hear from you. How about that? And I was like, how about that? Like, why didn't I think of that? Right? I was, again, following this program of everything's got to be negative, everything's not going to work out. But the thing is, you don't know. You don't know what the meaning is. Like, the meaning is ultimately what you assign it to. It could be true that I have people on my email list, they're going to roll their eyes when they see an email come through on, in their inbox from me. That could be true. Or it could be true, and it's probably more likely, because they wouldn't be on my email list if this weren't the case, that people are interested in my business journey. They're interested in seeing how I'm navigating things, and that they'll be really interested once an email comes, they'll be like, oh, I haven't heard from Courtney in a while. I wonder what she's got going on. The one thing, that's been disappointing about online entrepreneurship, as much as I love online entrepreneurship and it's changed my life and allowed me to create a life that really works for my lifestyle, being a mom, being a wife, just, doing all the things that I want. The one downside though is that it's very easy to get isolated, and it's very easy to get in your head, and then you're comparing yourself to everybody's highlight reels. And here's the crazy thing. We don't know what's going on in other people's situation either. Like, we just see like a really nice picture that they post on Instagram, and we create a story there too. We create this grandiose story about how they must be just like killing it, and their sheets must be lined with gold when they go to bed at night, like completely just amazing. They probably have platinum toilets in their house, woe is me, right? But then when we look at our own situation, when it's time for us to fill in the details about what's going on with us, we do the reverse. We do it negatively. Your mindset is ultimately the most important thing in your business. Your mindset is like the operating system that everything runs on, right? Like, I have a MacBook. If I try to use Microsoft programs that aren't formatted for iOS or whatever for my Mac, it's not going to run properly. You don't know what your own operating system is until you compare it to somebody else's operating system who is operating at the level that you ultimately want to get at. So it's so important. You really need to make sure that you are, working with people who are doing the things that you want to do in the way that you want to do them. It's not just about the tactics. Like, there are a gazillion ways to make 6 figures. There are a gazillion ways to make multi-6 figures. There are a gazillion ways to make 7 figures. But the key is, do you want to do it in that way? How does it work for you? And are you working with someone for whom you can adopt their mindset? If you're interested in adopting my mindset, I have 3 spots left in my 12-month mentorship program. I'll warn you, this is not for beginners. If you're a beginner though, you can go to CourtneyLSanders.com/masterclass, and that's where I give you my system for what I use, organic, no ads, what I've been using, for years in order to attract clients in the background. So I think that's really great for beginners and for intermediates. Make sure you're checking me out on my podcast, The Courtney Sanders Show, on both iTunes and Spotify. And I'll be back with more content because I'm trying to eliminate all barriers for any woman who is in pursuit of her purpose, including those mindset barriers. So with that, I'll leave you